And we are live. Welcome everybody for another installment of Where in the World. This week we're off to Japan, and I have four interesting gentlemen with me today. I'll go through introductions in just a moment here, but just some nuts and bolts to take care of as always. Obviously, I'm not Sarah Murdoch. She's gallivanting around Portugal somewhere. I'm Reed Cohen of Imprint Tours. I think you've gotten used to me by now. I sub for Sarah quite often, and we do collaborate on tours all around the world. So as you know, Where in the World is our program where we just want to connect with our travel friends and professionals and colleagues all around the globe. I'm particularly excited about today's programming because I really know very little about Japan. It's not a country that I've traveled to. I haven't even done any book learning, any research about Japan. So I'm ready to dive in here and ask a bunch of questions and learn about this great country that we hope to be bringing tours to in the future. So I think your screen is always opposite of mine. So I'm just going to go in a circle here and introduce everybody one at a time. First of all is Hisa. Hisa, tell us where you are from, where you're broadcasting from.
I'm broadcasting from Kyoto, and but my back image is it's in Hiroshima, but I'm living in Kyoto.
Okay, so you're in Kyoto, but your background picture is Hiroshima, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a Miyajima Island.
Excellent. And then we've got Yoyo.
Yes. Hi, Reed.
Hello. And where are you?
We are from Kyoto. We are at the office of the office that we are working for.
Yeah. And
we both Masa and me are from Kyoto, and we live here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Masa, you're up next. Welcome.
Yeah. Also, I live in Kyoto, and two of us are in the office now from the conference room. We are joining here today.
Yeah. Okay. So what Masa and Yoyo were saying is that they're working in the office of the company that manages all of my tours abroad. But both of them were former tour managers themselves, so have a lot of experience out in the field as well. And last but not least, we have Yoshi. Good morning to you, Yoshi. And where are you coming to us from?
Good morning. My name is Yoshi. I'm from the Yokohama, just southwest of Tokyo.
Okay.
Second largest city in Japan.
Yeah. I think most Americans have heard of Yokohama. So excellent. Okay, well, let's jump right in then. And of course, to our viewers, if you have questions or comments as we go along today, I'll try to keep one eye every once in a while on the Facebook broadcast. And if I see any questions, I'll pass them along. As you're probably used to on these Where in the World programs, I always like to start with finding out how people got involved in the travel business. So Hisa, we're going to start with you. How is it that you got involved in the travel industry? Tell us that story.
Okay, yeah. Personally, I always loved the travel, and I used to be the tour guide for Japanese customer in Australia for 8 years. Yes, and then I loved to guide the people, and but then I also want to guide Japanese people, not just Japanese people, to overseas people about Japan. And then I just found a job opportunity in a Peak website, and then I apply. And that time the guy called, he's also Aussie, Alan. He's a manager of the Peak office. And then I got this job. Unfortunately, COVID-19 happened, but I got the chance to guide Japan for the tour, and then I could join the some experience for guiding Japan too. Yeah. So then now currently I just do the remote in tour sometime. Yes. So
Unfortunately, COVID-19 happened to all
Yeah.
of us in the travel industry. So we all know that's a blow.
yes, yeah.
Okay, Yo-Yo, we're going to come to you. How did you get involved in the travel business? You're muted right now, so unmute yourself.
Yeah. Okay. After graduation of university, I traveled Mexico, Nepal, and China, India, and somewhere like Tibet and stuff. And I had very much like deep experience while traveling. So I wish I could be I wish to be tour guide to introduce my own country to the people from around the world, and I took certificate to be a guide. Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody here have some sort of credentials, some sort of guiding certificate? And Yo-Yo, you answer this question, please. Is that a rigorous type of testing that happens? And you know, I think that's something that's different everywhere we go. I'm just guessing that it would probably be a pretty rigorous process in Japan. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a national certificate for tour leaders. I mean, for interpreter guide, and we have to take the test annual. It's annually held, and yeah, to pass we can be a certificate tour guide. Yes.
How long does it take? How long does that preparation take?
It took for me about a year. Yeah, and you need that foreign language skill and also the knowledges on Japan itself, history, geographics and stuff, and also not only that, politics and yeah.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Masa, how about you? How did you get involved in the tourism business?
Well, for me, I used to live in Brisbane, Australia, like Isa. So that was for me first time like being away from Japan for a long time. I used to be nearly 2 years, and then learning English and then attending a school to learn tourism, and then realized how Japan is beautiful and then convenience. Easy to live. So, I learned English and I speak some English at least. So when I came back to Japan, I also attended a 2-year school in Tokyo to learn more about tourism. And that's when I found out about this test you were talking. And then it kind of like a very difficult, challenging exam, like only held once a year. And you said he took only 1 year, but for me, like, took like a couple of years. So, but yeah, when I got, and then I started as a private tour leader. That's when I used to live in Tokyo. So like around Tokyo for a family or like a couple or like a single traveler. And then I found a company who are doing like a group tour, like around 15 people traveling Japan in public transport. And then that's when I started, working for that company.
Okay, all right. So obviously the certification program, that's you work at your own speed. That's you go along, and rather than it being 1 year or 18 months or a 2-year program, it's just when you are ready to take the exams, I guess, right?
Right, yeah. Only held in August every year, and then you have like 4 subjects. So you need to pass every subject. And then there's like a second stage, which is for like English interview. So you need to pass step 1 and step 2, and then finally you can get a license.
I see. Okay. Okay, and finally, Yoshi, tell us, Yoshi, how you got involved in tourism.
Yeah, before starting the guiding, I worked for the coffee company, importing a Dutch coffee system for out of home. And many Dutch colleagues came to Japan. I showed them around the market and our factory and many towns. And also they went out at night, enjoying the drink and chat. And everyone likes my guiding. So I decided to go that direction after retired. And that's what I started, the guiding. It was, first one was 1918. And 2018 and 2019, and then COVID-19 hits. So currently I'm just doing the virtual tour on the online.
Okay, all right. So what is, I'm back to you now, Hisa. What is, what is it you like the most about this job of taking people around the country? What do you like most about the job and the lifestyle?
Yeah, there are many, but one thing I like talking naturally. So
Okay.
one good thing is I can meet lots of people from different background, and then we can share experience, and that's also many times I can learn from the customer too. So when I meet the people from different background, they tell something that new story I never heard. And then of course I can see many different place, different culture. So that's the most my most favorite things for this job.
Are you willing to share your least favorite thing? What do you like least about the job? Least.
In my opinion, the traveling is fun, but the most important is the safety. So without safety, you can. So I don't want to share like some accident or like. So of course, sometimes we can avoid natural disaster. It happen, but that's the incident doesn't.
Right.
I want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a job we have, is to make sure everybody's safe and to handle the emergencies when they come up. Everybody looks to us, obviously. I didn't mention it to you four, but I worked as a tour manager in Europe for 25 years, but so I don't do as much of that anymore. I'd much rather come to Japan and let someone like you, one of you four, do all the heavy lifting for my groups, but I certainly know the life and the lifestyle. So Yo-Yo, how about you? What's your favorite and your not so favorite parts of this job?
I used to work as a tour guide, but I ended up being reservation coordinator right now. Office. My favorite is meeting people, but I found out that I didn't like talking that much.
Yeah,
so I ended up being working here. So well, anything else?
Well, does working in the office sounds like that's a little bit better fit for you then, is that right?
Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah. Yes.
I was a little bit afraid you were going to say that you like people, but then you found out that you didn't like them so much.
No, I didn't like explaining things like to people like in general. So I very much like meeting people, but yeah, I'm not good at like explaining things.
sorry to push you up, but that would make it tough to be a tour manager, right? If you didn't
right.
Okay. How about you, Masa? What's your favorite?
Right. Yeah. I think you can get to travel for free. Even go back to many times, like many places. But you have a friend there. Like when you go to a restaurant, local restaurant, you get to know each other. and becoming friends. So every time bring some customers and then like introduce each other and then making like a local community. That's like like to help local community and then like connecting the dots, the customer and the local people there. And then you can travel all year. So you get to see many different of the season in Japan. So like in spring, sakura, like so pink, and the autumn, like falling leaves, like maple leaves. So like very crimson, like yellow, brown, so beautiful. So I think, yeah, it's a job, but you get to travel for free, but you need to be, for me, it was like maximum 15, a group of 15 people. So the customer used to tell me like your job is like having a cat, like impossible to coordinate. Like for example, we are meeting back here at 5 p.m. and then we go back to the hotel. But some people don't show up, so need to go find someone. That's at least my favorite part. But it was okay. Yeah, found that okay.
Okay. Okay, Yoshi, what's your favorite part of this?
I love Japanese food, culture, history. So I'd like to talk about that with my customers. That is my favorite part. This favorite part is the first meeting with the guest. So I don't know what kind of people they are. So I'm a little bit nervous about that.
Yeah.
But after getting to know each other, it's been good. But if something's wrong, it might be a very tough job.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you're saying about that first meeting. That's such an important moment to set the tone of a tour. And what I found, especially in the last, 5-6 years that I was managing tours, I really needed a good positive energy from the group in order for the best of me to come out, right? I think when I first started, I was younger. I could generate my own enthusiasm, but the older I got and the longer I did the job, I really needed a positive feedback from the group. So on that first night, sometimes you don't get that. And sometimes it develops later, and every once in a while you have a group that never gets there. But that first night is an important moment there. I thought somebody might talk about the downside of travel, of being away so long. That was always the hardest thing for me. Have a family and.
I'm sorry, I have to leave now. So
okay.
Yeah. Nice
Yoshi,
to talk to you. Yeah.
Okay. Yoshi, to depart. So thank you for participating, Yoshi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that Yoshi had told me that he was going to have to break away. So anyway, that was always tough for me. My daughter's all grown up now, but when she was little and I'd have to go on, and of course, working in Europe, I wasn't just gone for 12 days or 2 weeks. I was gone, they would string together several tours because it was expensive to fly back and forth. So I'd be gone for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, even not after Maya came along, less often 8 weeks, but 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, not at all unusual. That was the hardest part for me. Okay. Let's talk about Japan. Let's talk about the resource. This country that's obviously a long and storied history, fascinating destination, I think, for Americans, and certainly great partners with the United States in the post-war era in terms of democratic institutions and a powerful economic nation. But let's get more specific, and I'm going to change up the order here a little bit. Yo-Yo, I'll start with you. What's your favorite place in Japan to take a group of foreigners? A place where you really feel like you can shine and really, but also really is an important thing for foreigners to see and learn about Japan. What would be your number one place to show people?
As I started my career in Kyoto, and this is the oldest capital of Japan, I strongly recommend people to come visit Kyoto as the first destination in Japan.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. I see a lot of head nodding too
Right.
with Masa and Hisa. But so clearly that's okay. And let's say this too. What would be the number one site there in Kyoto for people to see? So destination and site. What's the number one site they should see?
For me, the Rock and Sun Garden in Ryoanji or other gardens oriented of Zen Buddhism.
Okay.
Because many like a lot of culture stuff based on Zen Buddhism. Japanese culture. A lot of Japanese cultures are based on Zen Buddhism. So I think that should be the first one to check out for foreign travelers.
So an understanding of Zen Buddhism is pretty crucial for understanding Japan and the Japanese people, I would think. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one of the stuff you should see here.
Okay, I definitely want to come back to this to talk about the gardens a little bit, but Masa, what would you say? Favorite place to go, favorite destination, and best site to show foreigners?
Well, for me, it's Hiroshima, and there's a peace park there. So the reason why I choose it because that is a place where, like, in human history, first atomic bomb was dropped in 1945, August 6th. And I used to take the group there every time, and then I must have experienced the story of a little girl called Sadako. So she was very little when the bomb was dropped, and then it was okay, like everything, like her house, like the village was destroyed, but her miraculously survived without injury. But after some years passed, she had developed like leukemia because of the radiation from the bomb, and then she had to stay in the school. Before that, she was very active. She liked sports and then very good at running. But unfortunately, she couldn't do that anymore, and she had to stay for hospital. And in Japan, we have when you want to making a wish, you sometimes hold up origami paper frame you hold, and then we believe that if you make 1,000 of them, like your wish will come true. So she kept folding every day at the hospital, but unfortunately, even she reached 1,000 of them, but leukemia didn't go away, and then eventually she passed away. But every time I tell this story to the group, I get very emotional and sometimes tear comes down. Yeah, it's something I need to tell other Japanese, like representing Japan, what happened, and then we cannot repeat the same mistake as a human being living in the world. So for me, it's a big destination, and then share the history and a sense of peace, for our next generation especially.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. I mean, a powerful moral message, but also I think a story of resiliency and this woman's courage and whatnot. So, okay, excellent. Hisa, what's your favorite place and your favorite site to show people?
One of my favorite place also in Kyoto, like Hanami Kojo, those are old style street in Kyoto, the Maiko or Geiko area, because the Kyoto, the old capital city in Japan, and then it's a capital city for more than 1,000 years, and then currently the people who overseas people had the image of Japan, probably tea ceremony or those kimono things. And then those cultures probably mostly like raised in Kyoto. So before Kyoto, Nara was capital city, but the current the culture people who know like those cultures that come from like there's a much become much grow in Kyoto. So then in Japan, like during wartime, lots of cities got bomb and then destroy like old building, especially that's made of the wood. So usually burn out, but like Kyoto didn't get those big bombing things. So they still keep the like old street. Of course, Kanazawa or other area has some like old style house, but Kyoto has most. That's why also it's good to see. And I'm not sure the tourists has a chance to see the Geiko or Maiko. Always because it's there, quite there, but still, they come, maybe they may have chance to see them, and also all the kimono culture or even food. Like the Japanese food is very unique, especially in Kyoto. They have really old style, like traditional way to make the food. So they have their own unique way to make the food. So that's why, I want to introduce those street in Kyoto. And then also, Mount Fuji is famous, but if not just Kyoto, in Japan, Mount Fuji is good to show. Like it's the highest mountain, but also even compared with other mountain, well, I think one of the most beautiful shape.
Right.
So it's good to.
I would say that Mount Fuji is the iconic image of Japan. You see a picture of Mount Fuji. I've never been to Japan, but I know instantly that that's what I'm looking at. And so I agree. You mentioned food. Let's talk about food, because I have to say that if you go to a Japanese restaurant in the United States, which is my only exposure to Japanese food, it's just we think sushi and sashimi and maybe some noodles and stuff. But the more I've talked to all of you and other Japanese people, it sounds like that Japanese food is diverse and that there's all kinds of flavors. So what we're being exposed to in America is maybe just a small little bit of that. Am I on the right track here? Who loves food? Who wants to take the ball here and talk about Japanese food? And is it regional? Is it the same all across the country? Who wants to kick this off for us? Am I going to put somebody on the spot?
Okay.
Masa, you look nervous. I'm going to pick you. Tell us about Japanese food a little bit.
I miss Yoshi.
As you mentioned, we have lots of different variety of food in Japan. Like also, like from north to south, Japan, away from each other, like about 3,000 kilometers. So taste, like a base broth, we say dashi, is different. North side of Japan tend to be more like a thick, and then west part where the Kansai, like Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima tend to be thin. Depends on like where you live, like you prefer different kind of taste for different things. Also, one of my favorite Japanese food is called ramen, which is noodles. And then also for ramen, you have different type of soups, like broth made from chicken, like a pork or pork bones, or like fish. And also like kind of creamy, or we also have tomato ramen. So it's just one word ramen, but it has so many flavors. And then ramen restaurants often have different like a side dish. One was also my favorite is called gyoza dumplings. It's like dumplings, like you can eat with one bite, and then you drop in like tare, which is like a sweet sauce. And then you eat with rice or ramen. It's perfect match. And then if you haven't tried beef, I would really recommend to try ramen here in Japan. Also, I used to live in Brisbane, Australia, and then I tried some of the ramen, but it's not really same as the one you can taste here. So you really want to try here ramen in Japan.
Okay. Hisa, I kind of cut you off there. You wanted to chime in on the Japanese food. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I want to introduce sushi in Japan. Of course, nowadays sushi is so popular. So the word sushi itself become like an international language. So that's good. But yeah, like Masa, I also used to live in Australia. Australian people also love sushi, but quite different. Like normally sushi ingredients is salmon, lots of salmon. So salmon nice, and I love salmon too. But the one sushi also called California roll. So maybe you tried them. It's avocado and salmon inside. And
Japan though, or is that an Americanization of sushi?
yeah, where it come from California. Yeah, I love California roll, but I never tasted before when I was in Japan. And then, oh, okay, California roll. But then I like it actually. So it's good. But if tourists come to Japan, there are more variety of sushi. Actually, sushi, some it's not just tuna as well. Like there are the more different type of ingredient, octopus or even squid, and yeah. So if they come to Japan, I want them to try different type of sushi. So actually, before that tourists try the Japanese sushi, then they are very impressed. Okay, my country normally sushi is just a salmon, tuna, that's it, or sometimes beef inside. But yeah, in Japan, so many different, so they are very curious. Oh, like what's this? So try.
I think Americans will have to be adventurous eaters when they come to Japan to try some things that they might not normally think of to put in.
Yeah.
Hey, I just checked the Facebook page and there is a comment. Julie has written, when can we visit Japan? I heard things were not going well over there. I'm assuming she means the COVID situation. I really wish to go. Can you guys comment on what's going on with COVID and what the next little while sounds like? Yo-Yo, you're nodding your head. Can you bring us up to speed? How are things going there in Japan with COVID?
The vaccine situation is getting improved day by day, but especially young people still don't want to get vaccine in general.
Really?
So I'm not pretty much sure what the situation will be like. Be cleared or not, but yeah.
Is
another state of emergency declared in Tokyo and Okinawa up to August 22nd. So it's going to be tough. Like people cannot go out so much, and then also we are hosting Olympic in 10 days. So
yes.
Right.
Did I hear on the news that they've decided not to let anybody, no spectators?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. No audience at the stadiums.
I mean, of course, most people watch the Olympics on television, but for those people that had, and families of the
those who pays like I want to money to get the ticket, and then they waited. Didn't happen last year, and then this year, and then no. So many people they are disappointed.
But I mean, we're talking about a pandemic, right? That none of us
concerning the situation where
things are just happen the way we expect sometimes. Does anybody know what percentage of the Japanese population has been vaccinated? Is that a figure anybody knows? Or even
30 to 40.
30.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't catch the number.
25 to 30, I reckon.
Mm,
Like those who completed second shots.
Okay,
around 30, yeah, 30%.
about 30%. Okay. And is the vaccine available for anybody who wants to, or is it still a little hard to get?
It's available, right, for everyone, I believe now.
Okay, is it?
Problem is, you know, you get like a ticket from local office that has a number. So you need to have a number to make a reservation to get vaccinated. And then now, like a big places like Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo, like the local, you know, municipal office, they stopped taking the reservation because we don't have enough like supply from the government to, you know, provide the vaccine. So we are currently stopping. But I saw the news like a couple days ago, like Osaka starts taking the reservation back from 1st of August or like August. So getting back, but still, you know, kind of very slow at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's a tough subject in any country. Thanks for your question, Julie. Okay, I want to circle back to this idea of the Japanese gardens, because this is, I mean, that's another thing that when you think about Japan, you think about the gardens. And I know that there's more than one kind of garden. There are Zen gardens and other kinds. So here's my question. What is it about the Japanese character that that these gardens are so important? Because it seems to be part of the culture. If anybody wants to take a stab at why gardens are so important, what does it say about the culture? Can I put you on the spot, Yo-Yo? Have you got a?
Why?
It's okay to say I don't know. I mean, that's a good.
I think that this, I think I want to pass it on to.
Okay, let me
okay.
help Yo-Yo.
Masa's gonna save you there. I went to Yo-Yo because you had talked about the importance.
Yeah,
of
that's right. That's right.
Okay.
So,
what do you?
Right. You know, many people have different, you know, point of views, and then, in my opinion, like in the past, like you mentioned, Zen garden, like local temples used to have before, and then not so common nowadays. But you know, making Zen garden, it's like a kind of training for monks. So if the garden is like looks not organized, you know, arranged perfectly or dirty, your mind like not, you know, focused or settled or prepared. So in order to show the kind of your mindedness, like to the visitors visiting a house or a temple, you know, your garden has to be kept very clean and organized. So for Japanese people, I think it's you know, gardening leads to cultivating your mind. That's something connected then, I believe. So that's kind of basic idea of having a garden is important in Japan. But also, like sometimes Japanese house is very small and we don't have the big garden, big space. So like in the past, used to have like a tea room, and then they used to be very small, and then there are not so many like a big window to show outside. So they used to have only tiny space to show from the inside to outside. So they used to have like a beautiful, like a kind of painting setting of the garden, so that you can enjoy while you are sitting inside a small tiny house, tiny place, and then you can see outside like how beautiful it is just from a tiny window to see through.
Okay. So both a focus for corporation when it comes to Zen gardens, but then the other gardens there's a real practical reason that just that people need some connection with nature, and I understand that there's a similar philosophy in Europe and of course in American cities as well. That's why we have big parks, just connect with nature. So
can I say something?
please jump in.
Yeah, I agree also. Yeah, like Masa also said, yeah, this is just my opinion, but like Japanese old traditional like religious Shintoism, and Shintoism is the concept of their idea is every nature has their own god. So like the Japanese word say Yaoros no Kami, that's 8 million god. So even tree or mountain or river, those nature has their own god. And then when Japanese make a garden, also it's of course there the Zen idea as well. But like Masa said, Japan has a small country, and then people live in a small place, and then sometimes not everyone can keep nice view. Like if someone rich people, maybe they have a huge space and then can see mountain or waterfall, but cannot. So sometimes they just make a small size of the nature in the garden. So they make actually just put a small stone, but it's meaning of river, or sometimes they just put the stone, but it's the meaning of the island. So they make a kind of diorama of the small scale. Yeah, then they can enjoy from their from inside their house. They see that those tree or like it's just a tree, but actually that's a meaning of mountain. And yeah, so near my house has it's one temple called Daigoji Temple. It's a World Heritage near my house. They have a nice garden as well. But then the garden, sometimes it's just a stone, but it's meaning of island or meaning. This is actually meaning of the Kamo River. Those. So they are Japanese always have a respect for the nature, and then they also make small size of nature in the garden. That's why. So
You say the Japanese people respect nature. Is that something that's traditional and historic?
Yeah, traditional idea, like when they, especially long time ago, probably even now Japan has lots of natural disaster. So all time people they couldn't understand what's happening, why happening, probably God's angry and those. They always believe that some special power and the gods living, nature, and maybe the God angry, or so that's why they really respect and fear, have feeling of fear to the nature.
Yeah, so obviously a historical, traditional reverence.
Yeah.
Because I think in the United States, I have to say we're kind of late to the game with that. I mean, nature was to be conquered, and subjugated, and respect for nature and preserving nature. That's a fairly modern sensibility here in the United States. Speaking of America and American culture being different, you've all worked with Americans and Westerners, a couple of you there, with your backgrounds in Australia and whatnot. What's the best cultural tip you have for visiting Westerners to Japan to help them fit in? Does Yo-Yo, do you think of? Oh, sorry, I give it to you again. Let me help out with an example. Like, I've noticed just from my travels, I'm not passing judgment, but Chinese people, they don't line up and wait for their turn. It's a cultural thing, right? And so if I were taking a group of Chinese people to America, the first thing I would tell them is, look, this isn't China. We are visitors, we're guests. We have to wait our turn politely, right? And I might say, in America, in Japan, people are not so noisy in public. We need to be a little quieter, or that's the sort of thing I'm after. And I don't know what your tips might be for Japan. Okay, I'm not going to put Yo-Yo on the spot again.
Oh, okay. Let me
that's right.
say one, just a small thing, but in contrast to the individual, in contrast to the fact that individualism is the key concept for Westerners,
Yeah.
it's the group for Japanese. So that's why while Chinese people get into the line, Japanese don't like be line like organize organized. Yeah. So the key concept is the group for Japanese.
The group is more important, and
Group is more important, and we have the two words, honne and tatemae. Honne is the true sound, the meaning that the true feeling the one have, and tatemae is the voice from the group, the voice of the group that I I forgot the explanation of that, but let me pass it on to Masa.
okay. Okay, Masa.
Well, yeah, I think what to tell you is that like honne and tatemae is honne like a true feeling of yourself, but you keep it yourself. But then tatemae is like even you don't feel like that way, but you tell people nicely so that you can maintain harmony within the group. So
Okay.
you mentioned about the group, but like harmony in the group is very important in Japan.
Okay.
So, like we don't want to stand out in the group, like we want to fit in the crowd. That's kind of like a basic idea. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that would be, I think, a really important lesson for Americans to learn day one, right? On the, when you guys are doing that important first meeting that that Yoshi was concerned about. That would be a good thing to address. Now, is the concept of face or losing face, is that a Japanese thing? I know in China that's a big thing. Is that the same in China? Do you guys? I'm sorry, in Japan, is that? Do you know what I'm asking?
Maybe Japan not.
Go ahead, Hisa.
Yeah, maybe not as strong as the Chinese people. Losing face things, but maybe
Maybe you wouldn't say it that way. Is there a part of Japanese culture of you were talking about harmony and keeping the harmony. That's what made me think of this, because that's what saving face is all about, is not embarrassing someone, not embarrassing yourself. Is there an element to that in Japanese culture?
Yeah, I think lots of Japanese care what other people look. So that's the first thing they really care. Maybe in overseas more like, oh, I want to do this, so that's why I'm doing this, like more Hindi. But Japanese sometimes, I want to do this, but maybe other people think, in bad way, then they keep. So like they also say that maybe lots of people still want to talk on the subway or train, but normally Japanese, that inside the train not allowed to talking on the phone and they keep quiet. So sometimes, they don't really think why, or but they just it's rude, or maybe people think I don't care the harmony. So maybe truly sometimes wonder the Japanese rule, like if I tell, oh, but why? But sometimes they difficult to explain, but it's just the reason is keep a nice harmony of the pop.
So are you saying that a Japanese person wouldn't necessarily say "but why" when given some instruction, that they wouldn't question it? Am I getting?
Yeah, sometimes of course there's a reason, but sometimes not clear reason, but they just like follow the rule. It's something like because of the probably there's some rules that people how to say but the some rule is just for the made for the keeping harmony of the public. So so I can't think of the example, but sometimes even I read the rule, I think it's okay. I mean, why I can't do this, but it's probably just keeping quiet or keeping you have to go this way or that way, or they're small rules.
When I think about Japanese people that I've encountered, and that I have to admit, it's back in the 90s, there were a lot of Japanese people still traveling. And so we would come across, when I would be leading groups around in Europe, and we'd come across Japanese groups, extremely polite. That's the way I would say it. They're extremely polite. So I take it that as part of this theme of harmony that you guys have all talked about, that it's very important to be polite. Because again, Americans, sometimes getting a group of Americans to be quiet and listen is a challenge. That might be another one of those things you have to teach Americans. Hey, you need to be a little more polite, and when I'm talking, you need to listen. All right. So we're kind of talking a little bit about this already, but how would you say that travel in Japan is different than in other countries? That's my question. And Hisa, I haven't put you on the spot yet, so I'm going to start with you. And again, you can say I don't know, but if you have an idea, a thought, how is coming and visiting and traveling in Japan going to be different than other countries?
Different. Maybe the good thing is that probably Japanese customer service is very good, even compared with the other countries, in my opinion. Because probably, for example, in US, maybe they have more idea of the service. It also costs money. Right? So that's why people are giving the tips for service. But in Japan, it's already included. So lots of Japan people has the image of service is free. So their standard quality of service, the standard of service quality is pretty high. So normally the tourists is quite impressed when they go to restaurant or shop, the service they see. So,
So tipping is not really a part of Japanese culture.
Yeah, not Japan culture. So I had some tourists when they stay in ryokan, which is a Japanese old style hotel accommodation, and pretty good service. So some Americans try to give the tip, and sometimes they no, like they reject. I mean, they think it's normal thing, so the worker think they shouldn't receive the money for that. But doesn't mean they they don't like to receive. But so then people impressed. I mean, tourists normally say their service is good, so that's quite different. Even I, of course, when I travel in Southeast Asia, I sometimes very nice hotel food, and the price is really low, and it's quite good too. But the Japanese idea of service, they always think the different type of customer and what they need, like they are educated that way. Like when they work, maybe this customer need this. So they always try to give a good service to. So that's quite different from other countries. That's what I see, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah.
The other guys, any ideas about how Japan might be different than traveling in other countries?
Well, yeah, I think also like you can expect like a punctuality of Japanese like services, like especially transport. Like if you at a certain time at a certain station, for example, like you can expect like this runs on time on schedule. So of course, almost like sometimes like delayed by natural disasters, like for example, like a typhoon, like a violent storms and then like earthquakes. But most of the time, like public transport like run very smoothly on time. So I think very different from rest of the Asian countries and then sometimes like North America, South America, Europe, Africa. So punctuality in Japan is very reliable, I believe.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. We're just about out of time, guys. So I'm gonna toss you a softball. I don't know if you're familiar with that American sports analogy. We're gonna close with a very easy question that you guys don't have to be terrified. Just for fun, for no other reason, I'm gonna go around and ask each of you if you could meet one person from history. Anybody from history? Who would you most want to meet? If you could meet anybody in history, I'm going to give you just a half second to think about that. And while you guys are thinking about it, I'll just remind everybody that we're going to be continuing with Japan this week because Sarah is away in Portugal and I'm actually going to France tomorrow. Be a little bit less programming than usual, but Hisa's going to give us a virtual tour. We're going to try for Thursday afternoon, which quite frankly in the United States is going to be the middle of the night. So we hope that all of you will tune in and watch the recording of that rather than being able to tune in live. And I say we're going to attempt that because there's a little rain in the forecast. And if we can't do it on Thursday, he's just going to try again on Friday. And if not on Friday, on Saturday. So we are going to have, and remind me the name of the temple, Hisa, that you're going to be giving us a virtual tour for?
Yeah, it's not temple, actually, shrine.
Shrine, thank you.
Shrine, yeah. Like my background image, it's a Hiroshima, but it's a Shinto style red torii gate. And the one place I go in on Thursdays called Fushimi Inari Taisha. Yeah, it's in Kyoto. And that shrine is one of most famous and popular because of there are so many red torii gate in there. Yeah, and people have to take
We've
one.
got for the rest of the week. So you're since we're already with you, Hisa, do you have someone that from history that if you could meet them and have a conversation, who would that be?
Sorry, could you say again?
If you could meet anyone from history, Japanese history, world history, anybody.
Oh, okay.
Just one. Who would you like to meet?
Choose one. That's yeah. In the world, if I can meet Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. Okay. Charlie Chaplin. Okay, we got a man who appreciates humor. Answer, who would you most like to meet from history if you could meet anyone?
Well, I would say one of the samurai lord called Ryoma Sakamoto from the back in 18th century, end of the 18th century, who helped Japan like to modernize and then revolutionize.
Okay.
Before that, yeah, Japan used to be very isolated, closed society, but he tried to open to the rest of the world. So.
Okay, very good. And Yo-Yo, close this out. Who would you like to meet if you could meet anyone in history?
I would like to meet Shotoku Taishi, who lived in 5th century in Nara, and he's believed to be the one who created the foundation of constitution of Japanese constitution.
Mhm.
He's legendary, but and there's some theory that that says he didn't actually exist, and I just wanna see like if it's true or not. Yeah.
Okay, so your goal is to find out if that historical figure really was historical. So
Yeah.
yeah, my answer changes all the time, but I'm kind of like you, Yo-Yo. I think about the founding of the United States and our democracy, and I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Thomas Jefferson, who basically wrote, the Declaration of Independence and was part of the Constitutional Convention. He was an amazing thinker, an innovator, and an architect, he was an amazing person, and I think he would be pretty fascinating. Sometimes I think I'm going to cheat and give two. Mohandas Gandhi,
Right.
wouldn't that be fascinating to just talk to him and say, what were you really thinking? So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Yo-Yo, Masa, and Hisa, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us about Japan and Japanese culture, give us a little bit of a insight into what a visit to Japan might be like. We hope at Imprint Tours to be bringing a group in 2022. Of course, COVID has to be well and truly over. So everything is a little bit of a maybe, but hopefully sometime soon we'll be bringing a group, and then maybe I'll get to meet you guys face to face when we get down to Kyoto way. So thank you again for this time. Thank you, our audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you very much.